creamy chicken pasta.
Alright, let's do this. For this recipe, you'll need some chicken thigh fillet.
Now, if you want to use chicken breast, go ahead. I would highly recommend to use chicken thighs.
Now we're gonna go ahead and season this. You'll need salt, black pepper, garlic powder, oregano, and sage. Now, if you guys want, you can also add some cayenne and paprika, but I won't be adding that here. Season the chicken with a generous amount of this mix. And be sure to flip the chicken over and do that side as well. Once that is done, and you'll want to use your hands here, simply rub everything together. Continue to do so until everything is mixed well. And let this sit for about 20 to 25 minutes. Once that is done, warm up your pan and pour some cooking oil. Back in the restaurant, we used to do something that we'd call double fat. And that would mean cooking your meat with some butter and oil. If you think that is too much, feel free to stick to whatever fat you're comfortable with. So, going back to the chicken. At this point, all you want to do is give it a nice, slow browning. If you'll be using chicken breasts for this, be mindful to not overcook the chicken. Chicken breasts will dry out when overcooked. Filleted chicken thighs, however, they're a little more forgiving. Alright, so at this point, the chicken thighs are done. Say hello to the fawn at the bottom of the pan and set aside your chicken thighs for now. We will construct the sauce here later. Now, let's talk about cooking that pasta. I'm sure by now a lot of you have heard this. Some recipes would say add about a handful of salt or make the water taste like the ocean even. So I'm gonna go and do this for you guys. The term handful will vary depending on how big your hand is. And since my hand is kind of big, here it is, 28 grams. So there we go, 28 grams of salt into the boiling water. By the way, I used to work with an Italian chef who would taste the water just to check how salty it was. If you choose to do that, please be careful. Now, in with the pasta.
By the way, you guys, there is no need to add olive oil into your boiling water. Now, I've heard it all before. A lot of cooks would say that the oil will prevent the pasta from sticking together. You do not need the oil. You do not need it. What you do need is a lot of water, as in a lot. So when it comes to cooking your pasta, all you need is hot water, salt, and your choice of pasta.
Another thing that I would like to mention, when working with store-bought pasta, like this for example, do take note of the cooking time written on the packaging. And whatever the cooking time says, remove 2 minutes from it. This was a little tip that I learned from my Italian chef, and to this day I practice it. Bear in mind that the residual heat tends to cook the pasta even after removing it from the hot water. This is why some cooks run it in cold water to prevent it from overcooking. Now, set aside the pasta and let's focus again on our pan. Add about a ladle or two of pasta water and it's time to deglaze the bottom. If you've watched my previous videos, you already know what deglazing is. But for those who may not know, deglazing is simply scraping off the fond with your choice of liquid. And in this case, we use the pasta water. Now, on top of the pasta water, we're gonna go ahead and add a small amount of chicken broth cube. And in doing so, be sure to dissolve it really well with the liquid. If you have homemade chicken stock, you could omit the pasta water and use the chicken stock to deglaze the pan. Now, once you get something that looks like this, add your heavy cream. If heavy cream is not available, then you can always use all-purpose cream. Now at this point, be sure to lower your heat setting. If the pan is too hot, your cream will curdle. And you do not want that. Now at this point, you can add a pinch of pepper if you'd like, but on top of that, add Parmesan cheese. Keep mixing everything together until the cream and the cheese becomes one. Be sure to taste the sauce and add salt or Parmesan cheese even if needed. And now is a good time to toss in your cooked pasta. I'm using linguine for this video, but you can use spaghetti, fettuccine, tagliatelle, or whatever pasta that you may like. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one eating it, so yeah. Now let's do some quick plating. Pasta into the plate, chop your cooked chicken, and do like so. Add a little more Parmesan cheese if you're like me who just loves cheese. And behind the scenes, by the way, I took the chicken skin and roasted it in the air fryer until I got something that looks like this. I was originally gonna snack on it, but I was like, hey, you know what, this would look well in the plating. So here it is, it made its way to the video. And lastly, with regards to garnishing, add some chopped parsley. And just like that, ladies and gents, you are done. Now, I think this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. This dish is in no way Italian. But you know what? It's still a damn good dish.
Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll be flashing the recipe right now.